Next questions are from C-Cat Myla! Have you already been asked about that mission? I'd like to hear about it, if that's not too personal. No, not at all. I'd love to talk about it. I will dedicate an entire blog to it in the future when it gets closer, so I won't say too much right now just because it'll be boring. I'm going on a 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was called to Milan, Italy. How it works is you send in your papers to just like the central mission office, and they assign you somewhere. We have missions all over the world. You have no say in the matter, and that's pretty fun. Like, it's part of the culture. And I just happened to get called exactly where I wanted to go, to northern Italy. In January, that's where I will go for 2 years. I'll just be preaching the good word and the Book of Mormon in Italian. I can't wait to learn Italian. What other cartoons do you watch currently or consider favorites, and why? When I was a kid, I thrived off of Cartoon Network. I loved every show on there. Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Courage the Cowardly Dog. I've talked about this before, but Courage the Cowardly Dog is like a central point in my imagination and my development as a creative person. Courage had a huge effect on me. The kind of macabre stories and the creepy art and the distorted, you know, bodies, and open his mouth really wide and those big huge eyes. I was really drawn to that genre and those kind of eerie ideas and stuff, and I've really incorporated that into my own styles. Today, I love My Little Pony. I really like Phineas and Ferb. I think that's a cute, funny show. I've seen a couple episodes of Gravity Falls, and that's a really cool show. You know, I'm sure that I would love almost any cartoon. My Little Pony just really grabbed me by the soul. And I think that it stands above and beyond other cartoons, but I am a huge lover of animation. I'm sure that any cartoon I watched, I would find something to really enjoy. What's your favorite thing about space? Mine is space. Space. Wanna go to space? Okay, Cula. I think I'm saying that right now. Cula. Are you excited for season 3? Yes. I'm a little bit sad though because I won't be able to see the whole thing. I'm gonna leave on my mission maybe about halfway through the season, so that's kind of sad. But I'll have a lot of pony waiting for me when I get back in 2 years. What would you be doing right now without ponies? I don't think my life would suck by any means. I don't know, that's a great question. I actually think that I would be in a very different place right now. Not really emotionally or anything, although I am a lot happier and friendlier with ponies. I definitely think that they've had a positive effect on me. I think about the elements of harmony a lot, and then in kind of a more selfish way, I have an audience, you know. I've been writing and singing forever, and now all of a sudden I have this concentrated audience of people that I connect with. We enjoy something very similar and kind of odd, and so I get to write pony fics and pony songs, and people respond to them, and that's really exciting. As an entertainer, having an audience like that, and one that's so reciprocal and so imaginative in their own right, and just so awesome, is something that I could never have imagined before I found My Little Pony. Which character would you like to see a background story developed for? Zecora. I would love to see a canon Zecora episode exploring where she came from. I think that would be so cool. Do we get to see some of your obviously amazing film directing work? Well, I don't know about how amazing it is. I'm still very much in the pre-film thing, so I haven't really made any movies that I'm proud of. Maybe when I reveal who I am, like right before I go on my mission, I'll show you guys my channels and stuff on YouTube that I have seriously like 2 little videos that I've made, and maybe you'll find that entertaining. I don't know. Do you enjoy the music that bronies make? Absolutely. Love Man on Pony. I think he's really talented. I like dubstep and Alex S. and Living Tombstone. I like So Great and Powerful. Short Skirts showed me him, and wow, his music's awesome. I really like Eccentrifuge or Lookout London. He goes by different names. He's got a lot of really cool, really great music. And of course, Ponyphonic is amazing. The Moon Rises and Lullaby for a Princess are just gorgeous and really moving. I'd love to write something like that soon. A really emotional, moving song, and hopefully I can get one of those out to you before I leave on my mission. C-Squared! C-Squared 08, my buddy, my pal. Number 1, do you listen to a lot of pony music? I kind of just talked about that. Number 2, what is your favorite letter to Celestia? Ooh, that is a really good question. Oh man, I've been thinking about this one forever. I don't know which is my favorite. I have to look that up and like kind of go over each one and study those. There isn't one that immediately comes to mind. I do know that every time I get chills, I love those moments, and when this show really comes together and you go, oh man, I can literally use that in my own life. It's really cool. It's a unique thing in a children's show, or in any show really, that the moral is actually applicable. It's exciting. I love it. Maybe I will answer that like down below the video in the description, or if you're on FimFiction, just literally right down there. You mentioned something somewhere about having lots of non-pony stories. Any chance we'll be seeing links to those? Probably not. I have linked Darad at some point, which was my very first story. It's like a fantasy, and it's dumb. It's got some really cool elements and some things that bled over into other stories of mine, but it's not very well written, and it's kind of special to me because it was my first story, and so I don't really want to go through and change anything. If there's a common consensus among you guys, I guess I can share with you some of my non-pony stories, but I don't think anyone would read them, so no, I don't think that I'll be sharing those anytime soon. Ignoring all stories in your favorite boxes, what are your top 5 favorite stories? On FimFiction? I'm gonna have to open up a new tab for this one. Okay, not including the ones in my top 5. Number 5 is Surprise Surprise by Saddle Soap Opera. That's a one-shot. It's divided into 2, but it's basically a one-shot about Pinky meeting Surprise. And Surprise is my favorite non-canon pony. Saddle Soap Opera did a really interesting take on her and made a fic that could really be an episode in the show. I really enjoyed that. It made me smile a lot and tugged at my heartstrings. Number 4 is 1984 by Blue Shift, which made me laugh so hard. I love that fic. I still haven't found a funnier one-shot than 1984. Number 3 is probably White Box by Chromosome. That one was really interesting. Number 2 is probably It's Not a Cold Dark Place by Lucky Dreams, which right now doesn't even have a chapter in there, but I'm waiting. I'm trying to be patient. He's revising it and gonna put it up hopefully very, very soon. That was one of the first fics that I ever read before I was really like a brony. It's just kind of like, what the heck is this fanfiction stuff? And then I found It's Not a Cold Dark Place on EQD and I read it. I was like, wow, fanfiction can be really good. And then I kind of lost it, but then I found it again later. It's a really good fic. I don't know why I'm talking about it so much because you can't even see it right now. And number 1 is Last Tears in Tartarus by Short Skirts and Explosions, which is a mature rated fic, one of the only ones that I've read. And I mean, I'm getting emotional just like thinking about it right now, but it's an absolutely amazing story. It treats grimdark in a very serious light, and so you're forced to care about these characters and wonder what's gonna happen, and just, oh, the world building, the characters, the overall message. It's just a powerful, powerful story that I thoroughly enjoyed. There's tons of others that I really liked. Daring Do Bakes a Cake, also Lucky Dreams. That one is so funny and really touching. I'm a fan of those. I'm a fan of the ones that do more than one thing to you. So they either make you laugh and feel, or they make you cry and feel, or they make you laugh and cry, or whatever. Stories that have more than one emotion, more than one super emotion, are my favorites. I love Home Is Where the Harp Is. Did I already talk about that one? I don't think I did. Home Is Where the Harp Is by Blue Shift, which should probably be on my top 5, because that's an amazing story. If you haven't read that, that is one to read. It's short, and it's incredible. It's just, oh, it's just incredible. You know, I really enjoyed Merely a Mare. I'm just going through my favorites. When it says show all favorites, I'm just looking through them and remembering reading some of these. Merely a Mare was good. I appreciated the storytelling in that. Man, there's so many great ones. Hard to narrow it down. Oh, I Met a Pony in Hell and we kicked Flank together. That's not actually the title. I Met a Pony in Hell is another one by Short Skirts and Explosions that is dramatically underviewed and underread. It's so funny. It's so funny. The reason it's funny is I can't even really describe it. It's about a guy who, let me just read this. I can't. You have to read it. It's about this like test in Tartarus where Sisyphus pulls humans and ponies and teams them up and has these collars around like pairs of human pony people pairs, so they can't get too far away from each other or else they'll get shocked, so they have to work together, and they're fighting like all these orcs and ogres and all these disgusting things, but the ponies and humans have been given kind of like super special abilities so that they can just like wipe out these legions of evilness. The main character is really snarky and sarcastic, and he's teamed up with Lyra, who's like really scared and innocent, and just their dynamic is so awesome. I think what I love about it so much is that Short Skirts made it believable. Like, it's this ridiculous premise, but he wrote it in a way that I was super interested the whole time, and like really wondering and understanding what was going on, and like I was scared and I was excited, and it's just such a good story. I can't recommend that one enough. Anno Domini was awesome, if frustratingly misleading. Yeah, there's a bunch of great ones. A bunch of really good fics. Sideways 2013 asked me a question. I believe you've said in a previous post that you were afraid of driving. Is there any reason for this? Out of curiosity, what kind of car do you drive, if you do drive at all? I do not drive. I really am super scared of driving. I'm scared of driving and fat people, and those are my biggest fears. I don't like driving because, I don't know, it's really scary to me. I have rolled a car before and been in a couple accidents, but so have a lot of people, and they keep driving. So I can't blame my fear of driving on that. It wasn't my fault. The weather was awful and I was just driving home from school. So that was terrifying. And then I've been in a head-on collision in a truck. My friend was driving, and that was super scary. But I think that the real reason I don't like driving is just the idea that at any time I could freaking die. Especially when I'm merging onto a freeway, or even in simple situations, like I'm going through a light, and like some idiot could be just flying through this other way and not even be paying attention, and I could die. And that's just a really unnerving thought to me, and I don't really like that. I know that you're always in danger, and I could die walking down the street or whatever. I don't know, there's just something for me that is really uncomfortable about being in a car.